And in this video, I'll be showing you how to restore this lovely handbag. Let's get into it. All right, so let me start by telling you what is wrong with this bag here, right? On the face of it, everything looks fine. There's no cracks or particular type of staining. And but when you look at the base of the bag, you can see that it's got this dark blue color here. And all across the face of the bag, what's happened is that dark blue color has just faded over time due to UV and general use. That dark blue color is faded. This looks like it's semi-aniline leather. While this is made out of genuine crocodile leather, when it comes to cleaning, restoring and repairing sort of the paintwork or removing staining on handbags, it's not really that important what type of animal it comes from, but it's more important to understand the type of leather. And what I mean by that is it pigmented leather, or is it aniline leather, or is it semi-aniline leather? And let me give you a quick example of what I mean by that, right? This piece of leather here is a piece of aniline leather, and on here you can see that with aniline leather, it is porous, it's absorbent. So if you were to spill any liquid on it, it's highly likely that it'll soak in straight away and it can leave a stain. And it's not easy to clean it as well, because if you're going to use a cleaner of some sort, a liquid-based cleaner, then again the chances are that you can stain it further. So the only thing we can do in most cases is spray a layer of paint to hide the stain, right? But with this handbag here, we don't have to worry about any stains. What we've really got to worry about is make sure that we match the color correctly, clean it very well to start with, remove all dirt on the surface, degrease it very well, the handles especially, right? They would have had a lot of grease, so we've got a special product called the grease absorber paste and the grease absorber spray. We're going to use those things to remove all the grease on the surface and degrease it thoroughly, mask up all the bits where we don't want paint, spray a layer of primer, spray the actual paint itself, and then clear coat all of that with a slightly glossy paint, because I think that's the sort of finish that this bag would have. And once we're done with that, we'll just apply a care product perhaps a day later. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So in order to fix this, the first step we're going to do is clean the bag. And in order to clean it, we're going to be using the Coloc mild leather cleaner and a sponge. This cleaner here is a foam cleaner. So we're going to get some foam on the sponge and just gently wipe the surface. Some foam on the sponge here. And just gently apply it. You'll see this is making the surface go a little bit darker. But because we're going to be recoloring it, it's not going to matter as much. All right, so now I'm just using a clean, lint-free cloth to remove all the cleaner that's on the surface and just give this area a real good wipe down, right? And once we've done this, we're now going to move on to the degreasing stage. And in order to degrease, we're going to be using a product called the Coloc Solvent Cleaner, which is this product here. And again, get some product on the cloth and literally just wipe it, rub it down to make sure that we remove all grease that's on the surface. Now you may see some color being lifted as a consequence of using this product, but that's absolutely fine, especially in this case, because we are going to be recoloring it. So we're not too concerned about removing color, right? So it's not true in every repair that you do, but in this case, it's absolutely fine. But if you do need to, you can use a slightly smaller or a stronger product as well if you need to, but in this case, this here is absolutely fine. Right, so thoroughly, little bit of color coming off. That's okay. You can see that some of the product is starting to soak into the leather, but because this is an alcohol-based product, this is going to evaporate very, very quickly. So we're not too concerned about, you know, it becoming wet and the product soaking in. And earlier on with the cleaner, some product did soak in, but again, the paint will just cover that, and that stain will not be visible. So, right, so with this now degreased, we're now going to move on to the painting stage. And the painting stage, the first thing that we're going to do is apply a layer of primer, then apply the paint that we've mixed, and then protect all of that with a clear coat. But actually, before even we move on to the primer, the paint and the clear coat, the handles need to be fixed, and there's a lot of grease on here. I can actually feel it. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply a product called the Coloc Grease Absorber Spray. Right, so this product here is the Coloc Grease Absorber Spray, and that's what we're going to spray onto the handles here. And we're going to spray it and leave it overnight. And what that spray is going to do is it's literally just going to suck out all the grease that's penetrated inside the handles, just grease from hands mainly, right? So we're going to need to take all of that out, because if we don't do that, and if we paint the surface, it's likely that the paint may not adhere and it may not be as durable. So to make sure that our repair is going to be durable, we're going to spray this on, leave this overnight, and brush it off, and hopefully that would have done the trick. So let me do that now. I've got an open bottle here already, so I'm just going to apply a little bit there. And if we get some of this in other parts of the bag, it's not an issue. It's not going to damage anything. That should be good. We'll leave that overnight and come back and see what it looks like. Okay, so we sprayed the grease absorber spray yesterday, and we've left it overnight. And as you can see, I don't know how clear that is, this is on the camera, but certain parts here have gone sort of yellowish, right? And it's all become a powder. So the areas that have gone yellowish, it's basically just sucked out and pulled out all the grease that was on inside the leather on the handles area. And all I'm going to do now is just brush this powder off. So this has literally lifted off a lot of grease from the surface, right? Which is very, very important, because without doing this process, the paint is not going to stick to that particular area very well. So to make sure that it's a good job, it's a durable repair, we want to make sure that we've removed all of that. Okay, so the grease absorber spray done. I'm just going to wipe the surface down with a little bit of solvent cleaner, which is the degreaser product we used earlier, right? Just to remove, again, all traces of the white powder that's hanging around and stuck in between the grains. Now, because the solvent cleaner is an alcohol-based product, you'll notice that while it's making the surface wet, it'll evaporate very quickly as well. So it has a very low flash time. So it literally lifts off all the dust, gets rid of the grease as well, and preparing the surface thoroughly for the painting process. Right, so we're now on to the final painting process. And I know earlier I'd mentioned that we're going to spray a layer of primer, the paint and the clear coat, but as I've started doing this repair, it's evident that our DIY product will work just as well. But rather than applying the DIY paint product with a sponge, I'm just going to stick that in an airbrush and just spray very thin layers and dry each layer as we go, right? So this is the paint that we've mixed up to match the base of the bag. I'm just going to get some inside here. I'm going to try not to fill it completely to avoid it spilling out, and I'm just going to start spraying. The noise that you hear in the background is just from the little compressor that's plugged in. Once I've sprayed a thin layer of that, I'm going to use a heat gun just to dry the paint, but at home, if you're doing this at home, you can use a hair dryer as well. Okay, so we've finished spraying the bag. I think that looks really good. Now that we've done this, all that remains for us to do is apply a wax to it, just to keep it soft and to bring out the shine and enhance the colors a little bit more. So we're going to use a product called the Coloc Elephant Leather Preserver. I'm going to use a soft cloth that should give us the final finish. So let's go ahead and do that. Right, so I'm going to grab some of the product here, open the can up, and as you can see, this is a clear odorless wax, and I'm just going to apply a tiny amount to start with these areas here. Right, I'm just checking, making sure there's no color coming off because we've just done the repair. In most cases, we'd advise that you keep it at least that you wait 24 hours before applying any type of care product, but here we've dried this thing very well, so I think it should be fine, and it is working very well, giving out the shine quite nicely as well. Now I'm just going to buff all of that off, make sure I remove all the product. You can even massage some areas where the product's sort of stuck in between the grains. Right then guys, that brings us to the end of this video. As you can see, this bag here is completely restored. No faded areas anymore. The bottom part, the sides, all match. We've also applied the elephant leather preserver, which has made this bag feel a lot softer. The leather is so much softer now and it looks really good. Even the handles, all the grease has been taken off. So yeah, let me know what you think. Put your comments in the comment section below. We'd love if you like this video and subscribe to our channel as well and help us spread the message. But we're going to be back very soon with another video, and the next thing that we're going to be working on is going to be a Bentley interior, a very old classic 1969 Bentley. So hopefully you're looking forward to that, and I'll catch you in that video. Thank you very much.